I'm currently standing in Mill Creek in Marysville, Ohio, beside Mill Valley Park South. I wanted to look into Mill Creek and try to describe some of the processes that have led to its eutrophication. Just taking a quick look at the water, it's incredibly cloudy. There's high turbidity, and there's also high nutrient content. This area has seen fish kills and algal blooms in the past caused by these nutrient excesses in the water. So I decided I'd look into that a little more to try to describe that for you, the processes of this eutrophication. So one of the big things is going to be land usage. 58% of the cultivated crop land, 15% is going to be pasture and hay, and then 18% is deciduous forest. So this part around me is actually going to be only 18% of the entire watershed, which isn't a lot compared to the agricultural land. So that's going to lead to high runoff. Agricultural land, fertilizer usage, animals, are going to cause runoff during rain events. Precipitation is going to drag excess nutrients from those areas into the water, leading into the creek, and it's going to create eutrophication within this watershed. Additionally, looking at the animals, there are 3,854 pigs, hogs, and swine, and 340 dairy and 269 beef cattle. That's a lot of animals, and they are going to produce manure. And that manure is going to be both spread on fields and also is going to wash off in some cases and run into the stream, once again increasing nutrient densities in this water. And eventually what we see is, once again, those algal blooms, fish kills, problems of that nature. So why is this so bad though? Obviously that land usage is a big thing, but another problem is the hydrologic soil groups in this area. Most of them, so 75.59%, are Group D soils, which means they're very slow infiltration soils. And this leads to high runoff. So infiltration means high runoff. So not only is the land usage a problem, the soils also have a tendency to influence high runoff situations. And that means that the cultivated croplands are going to have increased runoff, which means there will also be increased nutrient runoff and nutrient loads in the water coming from that increased runoff. So it's kind of got everything going against it when it comes to eutrophication. So it's got Group D soils with high runoff in areas of mostly cultivated croplands and agricultural practices. And then of course another thing, the Union County, Ohio website talking about this creek actually mentioned specifically that one of the main problems, or one of the big problems, is habitat alteration, which is the removal of streamside vegetation, which allows additional runoff and nutrients to come through that would have been stopped by the buffer zone of the vegetation. So those are my findings. And another thing specifically, this is cultural eutrophication because it comes from anthropogenic sources. So it's anthropogenic sources causing cultural eutrophication in the Mill Creek watershed.